Hello, my beautiful Scorpio souls. Today we dive into a message that may feel like it was written directly for your heart. Because I know the betrayal that broke you has left scars so deep, they sometimes feel impossible to heal. Yet what if I told you this very pain is not your ending, but the sacred beginning of your transformation? A divine preparation for something far greater than you can imagine. You see, Scorpios are known for their loyalty, their depth, and their ability to love with a kind of intensity that few others can even comprehend. So when someone you trusted shakes that foundation, it doesn't just sting, it shatters, and it leaves you questioning your worth, your path, even your faith. But here's the soul message today. God is not punishing you. God is preparing you, because through the ashes of heartbreak comes the miracle of rebirth. And though right now it may look like chaos, the storm is clearing space for new beginnings. This is your phoenix rising moment, a reminder that the pain is temporary, but the strength and wisdom you gain from it will last forever. And in that rising, you discover self-love in its purest form, a love that no betrayal can ever touch again. So stay with me, because in the next moments, we'll unravel why your deepest wound may actually be the greatest doorway to healing, authenticity, and spiritual awakening. And by the time we reach the end of this journey together, you'll see that the very thing that tried to break you has already planted the seeds of your miracle. Scorpio, when we speak about why betrayal cuts so deeply for you, it comes down to the very essence of who you are. Because unlike many other signs, you don't approach relationships casually or halfway. You give yourself fully with loyalty, intensity, and a trust that feels unshakable. So when someone violates that trust, it doesn't just hurt on the surface. It feels like an earthquake in your soul, shaking everything you thought was safe and real. Betrayal for Scorpio isn't just about someone else's actions. It's about the collapse of the sacred bond you built. And that collapse often leaves you wondering if love, faith, or even your own worth can ever be trusted again. But here is the truth hidden inside that pain. Betrayal becomes the key that forces you to look within, to rebuild your foundation, not on someone else's approval, but on your own inner strength. And while this process feels brutal, it is also the doorway to transformation. The wound exposes what was false, what was fragile, and what needed to be released, even if you weren't ready to let go. And though it might seem unfair, it is often through the harshest lessons that Scorpio discovers the depth of their power. In the breaking, there is an invitation to healing, and in the silence after the storm, the whisper of God preparing you for a miracle can finally be heard. Yes, betrayal strips you bare, but in that stripping comes clarity. Because you begin to recognize where you are giving too much, where you are ignoring red flags, and where your own boundaries deserve to be honored. And this painful mirror teaches you self-love in its most radical form, reminding you that no external validation is stronger than the love you cultivate for yourself. This is why betrayal hits you harder than most, because it is not meant to destroy you, but to awaken you, to burn away illusions, and leave behind only what is authentic. So as devastating as it feels, it is also sacred, a cleansing fire that prepares your soul for rebirth, for the phoenix moment when you rise stronger, clearer, and infinitely more powerful than before. Pain, as unbearable as it feels in the moment, often carries a hidden purpose that can only be understood once the storm has passed. And for Scorpio, this truth is especially powerful because you are a sign built for transformation, capable of turning wounds into wisdom and endings into beginnings. Think of pain as the fire that forges steel, because when betrayal or heartbreak enters your life, it burns away illusions and forces you to see what is real, what is lasting, and what was only a shadow pretending to be love. And in that exposure lies the first step of your spiritual awakening. The universe does not allow this intensity of suffering without reason, and though it may feel cruel, it is often the only way to clear space for the miracle that is already forming just beyond your vision. Because without the breaking there could be no breakthrough, and without the darkness there could be no rebirth into light. When you reflect on your past, you may begin to see how the greatest growth often came after moments that once felt like devastation. And this is not coincidence. It is divine design. God's way of preparing you for a path that aligns with your highest self. Pain strips you of distractions and leaves you face to face with yourself, showing you the parts of your spirit that need healing, the pieces of your heart that long for self-love, and the strength you never realized was there. For Scorpio, this becomes a sacred initiation, an alchemical process that takes betrayal and turns it into transformation, reminding you that nothing is wasted, not even your tears, because every ache is shaping a new version of you, one that rises from the ashes with clarity, resilience, and authenticity. So the next time you feel consumed by loss, remember that you are not broken. You are being refined. You are being molded into the phoenix that cannot be destroyed, only reborn. Stronger, and in this realization, you begin to see pain not as punishment, but as the very passageway to your miracle. When you look at the breaking of your heart through the lens of faith, Scorpio, it becomes clear that betrayal was never a random act of cruelty, but a part of divine orchestration. Because God does not waste pain, He uses it to guide you closer to the path that is truly meant for you. Sometimes the universe allows a bond to shatter because it was keeping you from your true destiny. And though in the moment it feels like devastation, in reality it is preparation, a sacred realignment, meant to strip away what no longer serves your highest self. This is why the doors you thought would stay open forever suddenly close. Why the people you trusted the most reveal their hidden truths. And why the life you imagined falls apart. Because without this breaking, you might never step into the rebirth waiting on the other side. God is preparing you for something greater. But that preparation often requires endings that feel like punishment, when in truth they are protection. A way of steering you away from illusions and toward miracles you could not yet see. Think of it like pruning a tree. The branches cut away cause temporary pain, but they make space for healthier, stronger growth. And the same is true for your soul. Because when betrayal cuts deep, it is cutting away what could not stand the test of truth, leaving only the foundation that will support your authentic power. The universe whispers through these endings, reminding you that the storm is not here to destroy you, but to reveal your resilience. And in every tear shed, there is a seed planted for transformation, for self-love, for the phoenix rising within you. So rather than seeing betrayal as the final word, understand it as divine punctuation, the closing of one chapter so the next can begin. And trust that this is not the end of your story, but the sacred rewriting of it, one where you no longer live in the shadows of broken promises, but step fully into the light of your miracle. Scorpio, betrayal may have left you feeling stripped bare, but within that emptiness lies the hidden invitation to rediscover the most important relationship you will ever have, the one with yourself. Because when the illusion of someone else's loyalty falls apart, it pushes you back toward the truth of your own worth, a worth that was never dependent on how others treated you. This is the sacred turning point, where pain becomes the catalyst for radical self-love, where instead of seeking validation from outside, you begin to pour love inward, nurturing the parts of yourself that were overlooked or silenced in the pursuit of keeping others happy. It is often through heartbreak that you learn to set boundaries, to recognize what kind of love honors your soul, and to walk away from what diminishes you. And in doing so, you step into a powerful transformation that can no longer be shaken by someone else's choices. God allows betrayal not to punish you, but to remind you that you deserve a love that is steady, pure, and aligned with your divine purpose. And until you claim that love for yourself, it is easy to fall into patterns where your energy is given away too freely. This season of pain is teaching you to return home to your heart, to heal the wound, not with bitterness, but with compassion for yourself. To look in the mirror and say, I am enough. I am worthy. I am whole. And as you embody this truth, you begin to glow with an authenticity that cannot be faked. Self-love is not a destination but a practice, a daily commitment to honor your needs, to forgive yourself for the past, and to choose healing over resentment. And in this practice, you become the phoenix, rising from betrayal not as a victim, but as a reborn soul who understands that the most profound miracle is discovering the power within. Remember, the person who betrayed you did not take away your light. They revealed where you needed to shine it most, and in choosing yourself. Now, you step into the kind of strength and freedom that no storm can ever take away again. Scorpio, this is where your story shifts from heartbreak into power, because your journey has always been one of transformation. And the image that defines you best is the phoenix rising from the ashes, a symbol of death and rebirth that mirrors your soul's ability to turn pain into strength. When betrayal tore you apart, it felt like the end, but in truth, it was the fire that burned away everything that no longer belonged to your destiny, leaving only the essence of who you truly are. And from that essence, you are now being called to rise more authentic, more fearless, more alive. This rebirth is not about forgetting the wound, but about using it as the foundation for a new self, one that refuses to settle for half-truths or shallow love, because you now know your worth. And you now understand that your soul was designed to endure storms and still shine. God's preparation for you is not subtle. It is fiery. It is intense. It demands that you surrender the old so that you can embrace the miracle waiting in the new. And this is why your path feels heavier than most, because Scorpio was never meant to live a surface-level life. You are meant to walk through the darkness and emerge carrying the light. As the phoenix, you no longer fear endings, because you recognize that each ending is only a doorway to rebirth. Each betrayal only a reminder of your resilience. Each moment of pain another step toward your transformation. The universe is aligning behind you, reminding you that the same flames that seem to destroy you are actually the ones that refined you, shaping you into a version of yourself that cannot be shaken by lies or broken promises. So embrace this rising, claim it fully, because the miracle is not somewhere far away. It is happening within you right now. In every tear that taught you strength, in every scar that revealed your courage, in every breath that says, you survived, and because you survived, you will thrive. Scorpio, one of the hardest truths to accept is that the betrayal you endured may actually have been a blessing in disguise, a painful doorway that led you toward the miracle you could not yet see. At first, it felt like devastation, like the universe had abandoned you, but slowly the hidden purpose begins to reveal itself, because without that ending, you might have stayed trapped in illusions, bound to promises that were never real, or attached to people who were never meant to walk with you into your higher destiny. The miracle is not always obvious in the moment, but as time unfolds, you begin to notice how new opportunities, unexpected connections, and a deeper strength within yourself are born from the ashes of that loss. And this realization is where transformation truly takes root. The universe works in ways that seem mysterious, but every tear you cried watered the soil for a rebirth that could not happen without first breaking the old structure apart. The hidden gift of betrayal is that it forces you to choose yourself, to stand in your authentic power, and to embrace self-love not as a concept, but as a daily truth. And as you walk this path, you see how the pain that once felt unbearable has become the very energy that fuels your awakening. God is preparing you for greater things, but sometimes the preparation requires removing what distracts you or dims your light, and betrayal, painful as it is, serves as that removal. This is where the miracle hides in the clarity you now have about what you deserve, in the freedom to rise without carrying false attachments, and in the strength that makes you unshakable. Scorpio, when you look back, you may realize that what once felt like the end was actually the beginning of your Phoenix story. The moment your soul chose to transform rather than remain broken. And that is the true miracle, the rebirth disguised as loss, the gift hidden inside the wound that now empowers you to walk forward more powerful and authentic than ever before. Scorpio, once the wound has been opened, the path forward becomes about healing and awakening. Because betrayal is more than break your trust. It awakens you to parts of yourself that you may have ignored for far too long. And in that awakening lies the possibility of profound transformation. Healing is not just about patching up the scar. It is about learning to see the wound as a teacher, guiding you back to your authentic self and reminding you that self-love is the foundation of true strength. You may find yourself drawn to moments of stillness, to prayer, to meditation, or even to journaling as ways of reclaiming your voice. And these practices are not just rituals. They are lifelines, tools that help you sift through the ashes of pain to uncover the light of wisdom buried underneath. The universe whispers to you through synchronicities, through small signs, through dreams that carry messages of comfort and direction, letting you know that you are not alone on this path, that God is preparing you for something greater than Kung. The betrayal that tried to undo you. The very act of choosing to heal, instead of staying bitter, is itself a miracle, because it shifts your energy from victimhood to empowerment, from despair to rebirth. And this shift is what sparks your spiritual awakening. In those quiet moments when you choose compassion over anger, forgiveness over resentment, and courage over fear, you align yourself with the divine flow of transformation. And slowly the wound becomes less about pain and more about purpose. The hidden gift of this journey is that healing connects you more deeply to your own soul, helping you recognize your strength, your resilience, and the love that has been within you all along. Scorpio, this is your invitation to rise, to see betrayal not as a permanent scar, but as the initiation that awakened your spirit. And as you walk this path of healing, you step closer to your miracle, discovering that the very thing meant to break you has actually brought you home to yourself. Scorpio, even in the darkest chapters of betrayal and loss, the universe has never left your side, and though it may have felt like silence, you are being supported in ways unseen, gently guided toward the transformation you were destined to embody. The synchronicities that keep showing up, the repeated numbers, the unexpected encounters, the dreams that feel more like messages than illusions, these are not random. They are signs that God is preparing you for something greater, reminding you that you are not walking through this alone. Every storm you endured was cushioned by divine support. Every tear you shed was noticed, and every prayer whispered in the quiet of your heart was heard. And while you may not have received immediate answers, the answers have been unfolding through the rebirth of your own spirit. Betrayal may have stripped away certain people, but in that space, the universe has been sending new alignments, healthier connections, and opportunities that match your authentic energy. And these are the miracles that arise when you trust that endings are not punishment, but redirection. Your transformation is not only about surviving, it is about awakening to the realization that unseen forces have been carrying you, lifting you, and ensuring that your purpose cannot be derailed by someone else's actions. This support reveals itself in small but powerful ways, like the peace that suddenly washes over you when you are about to break, the inner voice that whispers, "Keep going," or the strength to stand back up when you thought you had nothing left. Scorpio, the universe is actively partnering with you, turning betrayal into a platform for self-love, turning heartbreak into healing, and turning endings into beginnings that align with your highest path. Trust this support, because the same divine hand that allowed the breaking is also guiding the miracle of your rising. And every step forward is proof that you are not only surviving, but stepping into the destiny you were always meant to claim. Scorpio, as we come to the close of this soul message today, I want you to hold on to the truth that the betrayal which once broke you was never meant to end your story. It was the sacred preparation for your miracle, the beginning of your transformation. The fire that sparked your phoenix rising, and though the pain was real, so is the healing that follows. Every scar you carry is a reminder of your strength. Every tear has watered the soil of your rebirth, and every ending has opened the way to a new chapter filled with authenticity, self-love, and divine purpose. The universe has not abandoned you. God is preparing you, shaping you through the storm so that you can emerge more powerful and aligned with your higher self than ever before. And now you stand on the threshold of something greater, a breakthrough that carries you into a future no betrayal can touch. So let this be the moment you claim your healing, your awakening, your miracle, and trust that the very wound you thought would destroy you has already become the foundation of your strength. Remember, Scorpio, you are not defined by the pain, but by the transformation that comes after. You are not the ashes, but the phoenix who rises from them, and you are walking into a destiny filled with light, clarity, and purpose. If this message resonated with your spirit, if it reminded you of your own resilience and the divine support guiding you forward, I invite you to like this video, share it with someone who may need the same encouragement, and subscribe for more healing guidance, because your journey of transformation is just beginning. And together, we will continue to uncover the miracles that are waiting for you.